The image of God as an old man with long white hair and a beard comes mostly from artistic tradition, not from the Bible itself. You're correct that many theological traditions say no one has literally seen God's face, so the familiar image is symbolic rather than a real portrait. The Bible does not describe God's appearance. In Christianity, God is usually understood as spirit, not a physical being with a body. For example, the Bible says that God is spirit and transcends human form. Because of that, the Bible gives very few direct physical descriptions of God. Many passages emphasize that God cannot be fully seen by humans. This is why some Christian traditions historically avoided depicting God visually. Influence of the Ancient of Days imagery. One reason artists started portraying God as an elderly figure comes from imagery in the book of Daniel. In a vision, God appears symbolically as the Ancient of Days, described with white clothing and hair like wool. Artists interpreted that poetic description as white hair, white beard, an elderly, wise-looking figure. The image symbolized eternal wisdom and authority, not literal age. 3. Renaissance and medieval art. During the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, European artists began depicting God visually in paintings and frescoes. One famous example is by Michelangelo in the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, where God appears as a powerful bearded man reaching out to Adam. These images became extremely influential and shaped how people imagine God. For symbolism, rather than literal appearance, the old bearded man depiction usually represents wisdom, white hair, authority and fatherhood, eternity and dignity. It's meant as symbolic language in art, similar to how kings are portrayed with crowns. 5. Some Christians avoid such images. You're right that some believers think depicting God visually can be problematic. For that reason, many traditions emphasize that God cannot be represented physically. Some branches of Christianity avoid images of God the Father altogether. Summary God is often depicted as an elderly man with white hair and a beard, mainly because of symbolic biblical imagery and centuries of European art, especially from the Renaissance. The image is not meant to be a literal portrait, and many theologians agree that God's true nature cannot be visually represented.